The first major event in the new Valorant season has started, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, with the Lock-in tournament. Every franchise team is competing in this single elimination bloodbath where anyone could be upset, and on the first day of the event, one of the biggest upsets might have happened, if not for one play by NA's most beloved streamer. If you haven't been following the tournament, North America's NRG faced off against EMEA's Koi. When I first predicted this match, I thought there'd be a decent sized skill gap, as NRG contained the core of the Masters winning team, Optic Gaming, with crashies Victor and IGL FNS joining the roster as well as their former coach Chet. This is already a great core that had been able to compete at any event they were in, and had Artis taking over Ye's spot on this team, and the team's already one of the favorites. Compare that to Koi. I think I lowballed this team with my initial prediction. With the combination of guilds, Trex and IGL Coldamentor with their coach Barbar, this is a great core team for Koi, as Guild was able to become one of the top teams in Europe, even winning a match against Optic in Masters Copenhagen last year. Include starxo from the championship winning Ascent in 2021, and Shados from Gambit, who has had a load of experience, as well as winning Masters Berlin. This team should not be taken lightly. Both these teams are much closer in terms of talent as a lot of people originally thought. Still, most people had NRG as the favorite to win this match, as well as go deep in the tournament, but anything can happen in single elimination. In the map selection, NRG picked Icebox, a map that Optic never picked before in a major event. Koi picks Haven, and after the bans are finished, we're left with the third map of Pearl. This early in the season, you have to win your map pick, as with such little information on opposing teams, winning the map that you feel most confident in and prepared on is a must. Going into Icebox, NRG needed to set the standard early and win their pick, which if you watched the map at all, it did not go that way. In the first 9 rounds of the map, NRG could only take 1 round off of Koi, with Koi taking a commanding 8-1 lead. This looked like it was already the end of NRG, with their play just not looking as clean as what we would expect from them, leading to such a poor defensive side at this point. In round 10, they were able to utilize Artis' elite opping ability to get an opening pick, which gave them the advantage they needed to win the round, and start to show a little life. But in round 11, they were not able to string it into a round win streak, instead falling 9-2 down going into the final round, and it felt like they were dead in the water. But this is where someone on NRG needed to step up, to put the team on their back and pull them to a 9-3 half instead of a 10-2, which if you know nothing of Valorant Pro lore, these two scorelines are drastically different, one being a death sentence and the other being the infamous 9-3 curse, a common scoreline that can lead to some of the Valorant's most iconic and improbable comebacks in history. With a round win here, it could eject life back into NRG. This might be their last chance in the map and possibly the tournament. Koi sets up toward B, looking to push slowly towards site behind a Viper wall in order to hopefully get an opening pick that could open up the site like they have been doing all half. With the Viper wall up, Soms decides to ditch his aggressive angle down B long, as a good few pieces of util could isolate him and give Koi a player advantage early. He moves back with FNS more towards site. Both teams hold their position around the map as Trex picks up an orb to gain his Hunter Fury. On the other side of the map, Artis and Victor have been taking up very aggressive positions, which gives a lot of information for NRG, as they would hear any movement towards mid or A, which allows the rest of NRG the ability to hold their spots on B if Koi decides to continue forward. As the round moves to a minute left, a few key events happen. First, Koi moves back from B in an effort to regroup and decide where to go for their site push. At the same time, NRG uses their only available ult, the KJ lockdown, on B. When I first watched this, I thought it was a pretty weird strat, as I would have thought they would use it later in the round, maybe when an attack seemed more apparent with less time left, or use it to take up more space, but they do neither. Instead, what I think this play was used for was to bait Koi into actually attacking B, a site Koi had been having great success towards all half. But by using the lockdown early, it makes Koi rethink rotating to A, like they were kind of hinting at. The reason for this is because of the difference the lockdown has on either site. On A site, the KJ ult is not that useful if you plant in the open. The attacking team can just stay off site as the lockdown won't reach them, and still have a clean line of sight to the spike, leading to an easy spam of the diffuser. While on B, the lockdown is much more powerful, as a well-timed lockdown can kill an attacking team, as they will have to completely move off site or fight through the defense to destroy the lockdown. Once it was placed, it seemed like Koi decided right away again to advance towards B instead. This all seemed planned by NRG, as by knowing where they will most likely attack, they can prepare to at least end up in a favorable end of a few trades, where they can have the advantage on the post plant and hopefully win the round. Instead, something crazy happens, as practically the whole of Koi start to pressure FNS and Soms on site. This is when the W streamer showed up.
the burst again. Wolfen instantly going to fight towards Som. Som great dealing with the first though. Som though yet to be cleared fully from this. Rez comes in, do they get the partner? Huge from Som! Holding it down and giving NRG the finest amount of hope, the thinnest amount to work with.
NRG are able to finish the half with a flawless round on the back of Som's 5k. And with that little spark, NRG started to catch fire going into the second half. After a pistol and eco win by NRG, they are starting to burn through Koi's lead as they pull a great thrifty as FNS starts to outstrat Koi, leading to a scoreline of 9-7 before Koi can stop some of the bleeding, with Wolfen's opping prowess moving it to 10-7. But after using a timely Viper's Pit, Koi loses any momentum that they had as they have to save. And after that, NRG looked just like the better team, winning 5 of the last 6 rounds and winning the map 13-11, as every player on NRG really started to take charge of the map, with both Victor and Crashies showing off some incredible entry ability, even though they weren't even playing entry agents. They showed off why Optic was so dominant. It wasn't just the yay show. Players like Victor and Crashies makes this team a truly complete team that can overcome being down 8-1 early. I'm not going to go super in depth about map 2, as even though the scoreline was 13-9, it didn't feel as close as Koi was practically playing the save simulator all throughout their defending side, which largely was due to some amazing strats by NRG, as Koi never looked comfortable leading to an 8-4 half. Koi was able to tie the map at round 16 after pulling off some impressive attacks onto C, even with lighter buys. But NRG were able to right the ship as they refused to allow Koi even on site sometimes with some incredible holds, leading them to a map victory of 13-9 and a match victory of 2-0, making Koi the first eliminated team from the Sao Paulo Lock-in tournament. This was a crazy first match, and it seemed like one of the favorites in the tournament would be out before the tournament really even started. But thanks to every player on NRG, especially Soms, they were able to fight back on their own map pick from 8-1 down to secure a sweep on a very talented Koi team that will probably make a lot of splashes and waves in the EMEA League this year. But for now, this will be the end of the line for this European team.